Damn it, again. Okay. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, so, hey, okay. Hi, anybody who's watching. I don't know. Here's what's happening. My computer and I are in a protracted war of sorts, and one of the things that it does that OBS likes to do now is it likes to arbitrarily remove the settings I have for it. So what will happen is in the middle of things, suddenly the art, my suddenly my art here, this little board here, will my because I have what I do is I have it I focus. I have it zoomed in a little bit because it's wide. Anyways, hi. And this is one of the things that I have been very irritated by. Hello. Hi. Hi, Shining Lion. Hello, Shining Lion. Good to see you. If we're only here for a brief second and have scrolled by, that's fine. I appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. Okay. Put some music on. I should just keep the BRB screen going because that's the thing people actually like to see. That's not my art, by the way. That is just a collection of projects I've worked on. One of them is out, and two of them keep nearly getting out. Okay. Copy. Okay. Did it again. Okay. Figure video. See what I mean? It does it again. Zoom. Keep the zoom here. I want the zoom to be right here. I don't want it to move. Enzo! The Froggy Man. Hello, hello, hello. How is it going on this fine and lovely day for you? Okay, that should be good enough. It has been far too long. It's going good. As good as it can be. What about you? This is the first time. Okay. So what my part of why I haven't been on in a little bit is my computer is doing all sorts of madness things with me. One of the things it's been doing is it's constantly changing the zoom, which has been frustrating me. That's awesome to hear. No, it's relatively new. Something's just gone wrong. I need to call in a guy to fix it. Just suddenly, one day my computer just collapsed. It's only like 2 or 3 years old. It shouldn't be this big of a deal. Something clearly like messed up or something. Cause just okay. I don't know. I'm tired of dealing with it at the moment. But how are things going for you? Oh, I asked you that. Yeah, things have been going okay. You know, I'm making progress in my writing career, kind of. I think I'm getting published. I've gotten a piece of flash fiction published. I'm a little bummed right now. It's me just being like I showed something to a couple of writing group people and they liked it, but they didn't love it, and I was a little heartbroken because I thought it was some strong writing on my part. And you know, it wasn't necessarily that it was bad. It was just like it was like you know. It's like I had to, like, it wasn't as explained well as I should have, and I didn't maybe walk people through what's going on as well as I probably should have. It's fine. I was a little hurt. I was hurt by it initially, but you know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, they probably have a point. They probably had a point. I was trying to write a short story, but the premise was clearly novel length, and I just couldn't accept it. I think was my main problem. Like, I just couldn't accept that I clearly had a novel on my hands, and I'm like, no, I just want to write a short story. This is just going to be a short story. So I had to go like summarize so much of the idea, and I'm like, no. And I needed somebody to tell me, no, you have to write a novel. This is too big of an idea. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But the actual getting published is cool, so I'm ending the year on a high note, I think. Oh, that's funny. The bot always makes emojis that I don't know about the emojis this bot I have makes. So what's life for the Froggy Man? Anything exciting? Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I believe, is coming. I seem to recall that was something you enjoyed, the Five Nights at Freddy's. That's good. That's awesome to hear, buddy. Did you ever hear of that Nicolas Cage once made what was essentially a pre-rip-off of Five Nights at Freddy's? Hey, Mango Parrot. How's it going? Welcome. You're currently number 3. Who's number 2? Enzo. How's it going, Mango? Welcome to the stream. Hope everything is treating you well on this fine, lovely day. Yeah, I thought that was so funny. I always was, as a teenager, I was very fascinated by Nicolas Cage, and as an adult, I'm still a little bit fascinated by him as a person. Like, he was like one of my favorite actors, and then he did those like terrible, like he did these terrible B movies for years. Like Nicolas Cage has won an Oscar. Like he's won an Oscar for his acting. And then he did all these terrible B movies because he's like, well, because he owed a bunch of back taxes. Yeah, he is a fascinating individual. He is a very unique individual. If you ever hear him talk, he always has such weird things he talks about. Like he mentioned once that he had a dream of I think it was like a two-headed eagle attacking him, and then his like agent called him and said, I have this two-headed snake, do you want to buy it? And he said, yeah. So he just like owns a two-headed snake now. Or the fact that he initially lost some money because he bought a T-Rex skull. Yeah. Listen to, yeah. He has so many weird little stories. He likes to talk. He's done so many weird things. He's a legitimately quite unique individual. Yeah, so like the story is that he got into a bidding war with some people and ended up buying this like T-Rex skull, but it turns out it was like stolen from the Chinese government, so he had to give it back. So he lost all this money. And then he partly lost his money because he bought a cat. Anyways, yeah, it goes on and on how weird he's a very. He's a legitimately weird, like in a good way, hopefully, eccentric individual. I would say hopefully. Anytime I publicly profess liking somebody, I always feel like there's a little bit of an invisible clock of like, oh, they're gonna say or do something bad. So, Nick, please don't fuck this up. Or screw this up. Anyways. So what about you, Enzo? You up to anything fun? Is winter break about to come? I'm going up to Canada to see my relatives this Christmas, which is, I don't mind seeing them, but I was like, ugh, having to go during Christmas is not something I'm looking forward to particularly. Canada in the winter is not something I enjoy all that much. Oh yeah. I have a lot of family up there. Like I have a lot of family up there in Canada. Like I have aunts. I have a ton of aunts and uncles and cousins up in Canada. But I just don't. I just don't want to go because it's cold. Yeah, I don't mind sharing that. Like, yeah, you're of the couple of million people that live in Canada, I am directly blood related to some of them. That is not exactly the biggest revelation. I don't think people can dox me from that. Yeah. What up, 13? Nothing much. We're just hanging, chatting, being all cool in the playground outside of school when a couple of guys were up to no good. Yeah. Nothing much. We're just hanging. How's it going with you, bud? I didn't like that drawing, how the drawing was turning out. See, I always do this with art, and this is a bad habit of mine. Is I can never like make a decision, and I just kind of like I can never like be decisive on what I want to draw. So I just kind of okay, I'm gonna draw this. I'm gonna draw this. I'm gonna draw this. What about you, 13? What are you up to today, buddy? What is life looking like for 13? Dang, man. Dang it, man. That's great. Which project is this? Anybody see the new season of Fiona and Cake yet? I haven't. It's on my list. I liked the first season a lot. When I watched that, I found myself getting a little bit of like emotional seeing like all the Adventure Time characters as older. It occurred to me, oh right, I really like that show. I really love Adventure Time as a show. I think it's maybe like one of the I don't know. I think in many ways it was Adventure Time that really revolutionized how Western animation works. Anyways, so. That's on my list. I'll probably watch it later. Maybe I'll watch it later today, even. Watching The Chair Company. That is such a good show, and I can't find a single person in the world who's been watching it. Have you The Chair Company or Fiona and Cake? It's a show for grown-ups. It's about a conspiracy involving involving chairs and a chair company. So, yeah. Enzo, did you ever watch Adventure Time? You've never seen whoa, Enzo, you've never seen Adventure Time? Lynn. Hey Lynn, good to see you. I'm surprised I'm talking. Enzo has never seen Adventure Time. Have you seen Adventure Time? What are you people doing? Oh, thank God. Okay. I kind of just thought everybody had seen that. I thought that was... Well, it's still going. There's now Fiona and Cake is happening, which is sort of the spin-off. Do you remember the occasionally how there would be episodes where there would be gender flipped versions of all the characters? One, as somebody who was like, I think, 13 or something. I don't remember when that. How old was I when that show started? Adventure Time. Adventure Time. I was on the older side. I was 18. Wow, I was 18. I don't care. I was watching cartoons then. I loved that show. I thought that was an amazing show. I still think that's an amazing show. I was 18 when that show started. Wow, I was old. I don't have a good sense of time, I guess. Yeah. I don't care. I think that show's amazing. Yeah. Anyway, what do you guys got? That's a show worth revisiting. I will say that. Anyways, they're doing spin-off series now of it with Fiona and Cake. So what is the hip thing people are watching these days? I don't know. I'm not young anymore. I used to know. Something on Glitch, I assume. Is it the Knights of Guinevere? That show that stole my idea that she would have no way of knowing who I was. Do you watch Glitch, Enzo? The YouTube channel? Ooh. Robin Reckon! Hey, Robin, how's it going? Good to see you. Yes, of course you do. Which have you seen the Knights of Guinevere yet? I have so many thoughts about that show. How's it going, Robin? Well, I've talked about this before, But I was working on a short story that had a very similar premise to that, it kind of independently, and then it came up, and I was really quite sad because I was like, no, somebody beat me to this. I've seen Digital Circus, but I haven't seen Drones yet. I watched it. Yeah, I was so bummed. I mean, Knights of Guinevere is a good show, which because if it was bad, here's the thing: if Knights of Guinevere was bad, there would have part of me that would have been happy. I'm like, yeah, it sucks. I can still do my idea, but it's good. Okay, so I don't know. My idea is different enough that I think I can get away with it, but I am waiting a little bit for the hype to die around from Knights of Guinevere so I can release it. But basically, my idea was okay. Do you know what Epcot is, Enzo? This is going to be a little bit complicated. But do you know what Epcot is? Okay, so if you don't know, Epcot is a land in Disney World in Disney World. It's a theme park in Disney World, but that's not what the idea for it was originally. So, Epcot is a Disney theme park, but the idea for Epcot wasn't that. Walt Disney's original idea for Epcot was, he wanted to build his own city. Like, he legitimately was planning to build his own futuristic kind of utopian city that he could, like, construct his perfect city. This was a legitimate thing Walt Disney was doing. This was the main thing he was working on in the last few years of his life, was the construction of Epcot. I forget what it stands for. Epcot stands for a thing. It stands for... What does Epcot stand for? Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. Anyways, so the premise of my story that I was working on is it's a murder mystery, and it's an alternative history thing where Epcot gets constructed and a murder occurs, and it follows a detective who goes to Epcot to try and solve the murder at Epcot. And it may have followed a somewhat similar plot line of there may have been a rogue animatronic, something of a rogue animatronic trying to desperately forge a path towards freedom. That was the main... Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I still want to do it. I'm just waiting... I'm waiting a little bit for the hype for Guinevere to die down before starting seriously working on it yet, so it doesn't feel like a ripoff. But yeah, it's not a bad idea, right? Yeah, I know, it's a good idea. It's about murder. It's a murder mystery set at Epcot. Or it won't be Epcot, because I don't think I could get away legally with using Walt Disney property. It will be, a Walt Disney-like character with a Walt Disney-like world, but still Mickey Mouse, because Mickey Mouse is ours now. He's in the public domain. By the way, if you don't know that, Mickey Mouse is officially in the public domain. He's more than 100 years old. He passed to the public domain like last year, I believe. So if you so desire, you can legally use Mickey Mouse as a character in anything you make. You have to use the earliest version of him, but yeah. But yeah, it's not a bad idea, right? Oh, I have tons of them. It's just seeing this project I've been working on. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I should probably just work on it because it's probably going to take it'll probably take me like a couple of months really to finish it up. So by the time it comes out, I should start working on it now, but I don't know. I do like, my favorite thing with the first episode of The Night of Guinevere is, one, the animation is really amazing. It looks really beautiful. It's quite gorgeous to see animation like that. I'm sure it costs a lot of money to do that. I'm sure it costs a lot to do that because that is like just probably stretching the independentness of the of Glitch pretty far, but I appreciate that they're doing it. But I'll do it. Yeah, I had a few other ideas. Yeah. Because the creator is the same as the Owl House, right? I believe it's the same person who created the Owl House, if I remember correctly. I really hope, like, this whole indie animation thing takes off, because that would be really awesome. Because if you don't know, right now, studios are really trying to screw over animators. So if the indie animate, anyways, my favorite, if I could just very briefly talk about the thing that made me really laugh in Knights of Guinevere, in a good way, not in like it's funny, just like oh, they went there. The opening scene where the guy is showing off, like the owner of the park is showing off his daughter, the thing. I thought that was so funny because it was like, oh, so this is just basically the Lion King speech he's doing. I thought that was like really clever. I was like, oh, that's just it's basically Simba. One day, all of this will be yours. Thing, and I thought that was really clever. Oh yeah. If I could, you know, this is for critique. YouTube, this is for critiques purposes. Please be cool with that. See, look at this. Look. See?
Where tall tales became
What?
indisputable truths.
It's all for you, Olivia. Everyone who comes and goes will eventually be under your watchful care. Happy birthday, sweetheart.
See?
I hope this can make up for
Okay, I'm not going to play too much because I don't want to get copyright strike. But see, it's basically he's basically giving her the Lion King. One day, Simba, this will all be. I thought that was really funny. I laughed a lot when I saw that. Being as it's an ex-Disney person who famously got pretty screwed over by Disney, it's very funny to me that they're making a show about an evil Disney totalitarianship. Yeah, he even does like the. Anyways, it's. Me? No. But being as she is a. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, complicated, I guess. There's a lot of stuff that Disney has made that I like, but I don't like the corporate side. I don't like the corporate side of Disney. I think they're okay. So anyway, me personally, complicated relationship with Disney. I think there's a lot of great things that Disney has made, and I'm very fascinated by it. But I also think they are a big evil corporation that does a lot of big evil things. Look into how like they treat like Disney is notorious for underpaying or underpaying their workers and stuff like that. There's a lot of things Disney does that is big evil. But there's no, I'm saying she does because I think she because if you remember, the Owl House famously got quite screwed over, the show they created. Like, not to get political, but I'm gonna get a little political. Yeah, well, yeah, that's my thing. Like, there's a lot of things Disney does that is really cool. Like I agree, the animatronics are super cool. Being as Disney practically invented them, the Disney company practically invented them. They're super cool, and I think there's a lot of really cool things that Disney does. But also, they are also a big evil multi-conglomerate, and they are not like. It's best not to confuse like the people that work for a company who make a thing you love with like the thing you love, right? You know, with like the company. Like, I love Gravity Falls and stuff, but if you ever want to get like really mad at Disney, the creator of Gravity Falls, Alexander Hirsch, released emails he got from Standards and Practices about stuff, and it's like, oh yeah. But yeah, it's like Disneyland, Disney World, like all that stuff is so cool. I have one of my projects I've been working on for a while. I haven't really figured out a way to like nail it exactly yet. But one of the ideas I've been trying to figure out for a while is to write like see if I could write like a dark parody of a Disney movie, but I've never been able to really like crack the idea. Just because like there's a lot of things. Hi Lynn, welcome back. I don't know why I'm talking like this. We're talking Disney and the complicated relationships I think all of us have with it. Yeah. Well, yeah, my thing is, yeah, I like, there's stuff Disney has made. Well, Enzo, it's been lovely talking to you, and I hope to see you on your way back. Yeah, there's stuff I love that Disney has made. Like WALL-E, I think is an amazing movie. Like there's stuff out there that Disney has made that I think is like are legitimate masterpieces. And then but it's also like a big evil company that does big evil things all the time. And part of why like Disney can do stuff is because they just have so much money that they just bring in. You know, okay, you guys don't follow sports, so this is not going to be a metaphor that lands particularly well, but like it used to be back in the old days of baseball. The Yankees were always the most hated team by anybody who wasn't in a New Yorker, because all the Yankees would do is they had all this money, so that they would just spend a lot of money on baseball players. So like, yeah, the Yankees were this great team, but they were great because they just had a lot of money to be a good team. They didn't really develop. They would just spend money on the best players and always win. And that's, in my opinion, that's a little bit like what Disney is. Like, they just spend money. They just hire the best people, and thus they can make better stuff. Even though, like, the stuff that these people make for Disney is usually not their best. like if I could note that Mufasa, a kind of ugly and very forgettable Disney movie, was directed by, I believe, Barry Jenkins, the guy who directed Moonlight, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a little part of me that is incredulous that the director of Moonlight also directed Mufasa. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. Were there books? Are there some prequels that I don't know about with Lion King? As a kid, Lion King was my favorite. Was my favorite movie for a very long time. I had seen Lion King like a million times. I hate those, like, not to get into like internet stuff, but I hate those live action remakes. I'm so sick of them. I think all of them have been kind of bad. I know that's not exactly a rare take you hear on the internet, but they all suck. They need to just please stop. In some ways, I guess you can blame. Yeah. See, but Lilo and Stitch is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, they take these interesting indie directors. Because the guy who directed the Lilo and Stitch movie also directed a very cute movie called Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Have you ever heard of this one, Lynn? Not enough people watched it. But which was a very sweet movie about a very, and then made kind of Disney slop. And I'm like, oh, man, he had potential. Yeah, right. That guy had like, nah. I'm bummed because like, no, he had potential, but now he's just doing Disney live action movies, which I'm sure pays well, but I kind of would. I mean, one of the great things about, I love Jenny Slate, and so, and she's always been the key to that. So, anyways, yeah. Oh, you mean that movie that they refused to advertise? And I didn't. I haven't yet. That movie they refused to advertise, and I didn't know it was coming out till like the week before. That movie. I haven't yet. I don't know. There's a part of me. This is me, but a little part of me is like, I don't know. After 3. Yes. Okay. get copyright strike, but I'm gonna. I will watch with my headphones on. That's funny. Of course, the toy's biggest thing would be the biggest thing they would be worried about is the kid becoming an iPad kid. That made me laugh, kind of. I'm sure there'll be a reason for why Woody is there. I'm sure they'll explain it. Did he? Yeah. Well, maybe he's just visiting, Lynn. He's just visiting. Is John Ratzenberger okay? I don't know. Did something happen to John Ratzenberger? John Ratzenberger. Still alive. I'm sure he is. He's gonna be there. I don't think he was featured in the teaser. Oh, that's a bummer. Maybe they just didn't want to replace him, though. Yeah, well, I don't know. I know as much as you, Lynn. I know as much as you. I don't know. Honestly, that did. Okay. This is going to sound kind of controversial. Are DreamWorks movies starting to look better than Pixar movies? DreamWorks. If you don't know, DreamWorks and Illumination are run by the same people, but it is run by the same guy now. But I've been noticing this because it's like I'm starting to think a little bit Pixar is starting to fall behind because the Puss in Boots movie, that Puss in Boots movie looked amazing. I mean, they're obviously aping a little bit, like Spider-Verse and stuff, but you know what? That's perfect. That's a perfectly fine thing to ape, and they're doing it really well. But yeah, I've been noticing they're starting to. Yeah. So Sony totally blowing it on K-pop Demon Hunters, I think. In retrospect, I think is one of the biggest self-owns a company has ever done. If you really think about it. Like, the fact that they didn't recognize that was going to be a big hit, and I believe like and then Netflix like released it into theaters, and didn't it hit #1 at the box office? K-pop Demon Hunters, #1 at the box office? Yes, it did. Well, Sony is famously like kind of a screw-up company. Like Sony Pictures is famously. So it would have been a conventional, because you know, there's always a little bit of a thing when something gets released on Netflix. Is like, well, would it have been successful without Netflix? And, you know, there's a little bit of that, and then then Netflix released it into theaters, and it was like, oh no, it was just successful. It would have been a hit. So that has to be one of the biggest, like, the fact that Sony doesn't own that out. Like, I believe it's like 50-50 now. They own it with Netflix. Doesn't own that franchise outright. Is kind of goofy, in my opinion. Really one of the biggest self-owns. Because Netflix, I think, is a show, I don't know, it's sort of ridiculous. I don't know, it's just ridiculous to me. Like, really? You didn't think that was going to be a hit? I'd really like to see like an indie company come and like start doing more animated stuff. Like, wouldn't it be nice if, like, say somebody like Glitch was able to get one of their a movie into like theaters or something? I don't know. Did you see? Did you see that they had Abaddon's voice actor sing a song from K-pop Demon Hunters? Good afternoon. Oh, well, we're talking about stupid people. Yeah, we're talking more about the business behind it. How Sony gave up the rights to Netflix, and that might be one of the dumbest moves that a company has ever done. In retrospect, this seems to have been a really dumb that seems to have been a really dumb move on Sony's part. Fuck. I knew that would happen. Well, filmmaking, the film industry is all about taking bets. Terrible. It's all about taking bets, and sometimes you have to bet on that your idea will work out. And because they chickened out and didn't do it, and they sold it off to Netflix, they now have to co-own. It turns out it was a big IP. And they now have to contend with co-owning what could have been a huge IP for them. Which is, I would say, a huge mistake. Sorry. In my opinion. It's not like I'm there in the meetings, but I'm like, you could have owned this completely outright, and you didn't, and now you gave your Netflix an upper hand. That is Sony does make their own movies. They've made their own movies for years. This K-pop Demon Hunters was a Sony production. Yeah. One second. I'm just dealing with some behind-the-scenes stuff for a second. Nothing major. Just gotta reset everything. Okay, there we go. Well, kind of. They co-own it now. They co-own the rights. I forget exactly what the exact deal is, but they co-own the rights. So it's a 50-50. So they have to share the profits with Netflix, which means but they could have owned it outright if they hadn't chickened out. And I believe, like, what? Let me look at the exact deal. What is the business arrangement between Netflix and Sony? Hello, Enzo. Welcome back. What is the business relationship between Netflix and Sony on K-pop Demon Hunters? K-pop Demon Hunters. Okay, so here it is. Sony Pictures produced the film. It was a distribution where Sony sold the distribution rights to Netflix for direct streaming release under the deal. Netflix paid for the entire $100 million production budget and gave Sony a profit premium and getting exclusive range. Yeah. So, okay. So basically, at least from what people are saying, Netflix owns the distribution rights worldwide, gets control of the franchise, paid for the initial budget, and Sony got a a guaranteed premium on it, which is, according to some estimates, around $20 million. So all in all, not a bad little profit Sony made. The problem is Netflix has earned approximately $100 million from this. So it means that for every, say, new franchise thing, every new bit of thing, Sony will make about 20 million, but will make about $20 million every time they make a new movie. Netflix can approximately make hundreds of millions on it. So I would say bad business deal. Anyways, yeah. So that's Sony being stupid. Do you guys remember when Sony got hacked and all the emails were released? All their insider business emails were released, and we got a real direct knowledge on how Sony works. No? Am I the only one who remembers this? Do you guys not remember not following how that was the most wild? Oh, no. Okay, so it all has to do with this movie called The Interview, which was a movie that Seth Rogen made about assassinating Kim Jong-un. Assassinating Kim Jong-un, and then mysteriously, a group of elite hackers suddenly exposed all of Sony's internal records, because if they didn't stop production on the movie The Interview. Now, still not sure who. Still not sure who. Nobody's sure who did it. But if you don't know, North Korea is pretty famous for its elite level hackers that have been going around and committing high level bank fraud because of all of this. I don't know. People hate Rogan. I don't know. He's been doing good work. I think he has some good stuff. Anyways, but yeah, very famously, yeah. Controversial opinion about Seth Rogen. I think his TV work is a lot better than his film work. Yeah. If you guys don't know, so North Korea is one of the ways they make money is running a lot of these like bank frauds and hacking schemes on people. So there's a lot of like pretty high level hacking, hacking things that happen that have been connected to North Korea. Like famously, like a lot of crypto places get hacked by North Korea, which guys, don't worry. Cryptocurrency is the most safe currency in the world. It just gets constantly hacked and is constantly in danger. But it's super safe. There's just constant news of how easy it is to hack, and people often lose a lot of their money in cryptocurrency because of hacks. No, they do. They famously do. Yeah. Isn't that, yeah, well, yeah, there's an elite. Hey, listen, there's nothing hypocritical about a communist country having an elite. I think I know who is. I believe that's the uncle, if I remember correctly. Oh no, yeah, that's his brother. Yes, I know. Yes, I know very much about the assassination of Kim Jong-un. Yeah. The uncle, Kim Jong-un's uncle, is also an infamous assassination. Yeah, the girls thought they were part of like a. So if you haven't, yeah. His uncle, famously, Un had his uncle assassinated also. Like his uncle is the one who secured Un, the office, and then mysteriously he was killed. And they're like, yeah, no, that was an assassination. So the brother, if you don't, okay, the brother, we were vaguely talking about like Disney and, you know, the modern world's complicated relationship with Disney. The brother, Kim Jong-nam, his story is pretty connected to Disney in that he got caught. What he was considered the heir apparent for many years. He was considered the heir apparent for many years to ill. But what they say caused him to lose favor was this incident where he got caught with a fake passport in Japan because he was trying to take his family to Tokyo Disney World, and that caused Un to rise in prestige as the eventual person to take over. Oh, dude, the amount of stuff I've read about North Korea, I know I've read more than a few books, so that caused the fall of Un, of Nam. Now, and then he was killed. Un's brother was killed, and what happened was some mysterious. he was sprayed by some girls at the airport, and it was like poison gas or something. I forget exactly what it was. And from the girls thought who did this didn't realize that they were assassinating anybody. They thought they were part of a prank show that was happening in I believe Malaysia. It was a prank show that happened in Malaysia, and they thought they were just like spraying men as part of a prank. Yeah, and then they sprayed him, and it was like he died almost immediately. And it's freaky because it's like, okay, so the how they did it is like the prank. They did it to a few guys with normal stuff first, and they said the prank is you have to cover the guy's eyes and then whisper "guess who," and then they would spray like water or something. And then they finally did it to Nam, and they switched it out. But think how creepy. That's like so creepy, right? Like it isn't enough to just kill him. They have to go, guess who? Then dead. Yeah, and I fortunately I believe they almost got executed, the girls who did it, and I believe they let them go eventually because it was like. He just wanted to see Disney World. Exactly. I read a book about one of the books I read about North Korea. He was Russian. He was like a Russian sociologist, like talking about the history and the political makeup. And one of the things I found really interesting about North Korea is there's actually like a very specific caste system in North Korea, and it all has to do with how closely you're related to somebody who assisted in the revolution. And if you're like a direct descendant of somebody in the revolution, you're considered a much higher caste than like somebody who's lower, who didn't. And like he interviewed a couple who like the wife was a direct relation of somebody who participated in the revolution, and her husband wasn't, and it lowered her standing in society. I've always been fascinated by that. That I was like the book was a little out of date because it was about Un had just ascended to power. Anyways, I could go on. But anyways, if you're curious, a lot of your favorite shows have been animated in North Korea. Shows animated in North Korea. Let's see. It's it's SEK. Look, it's SEK. It is the company. It's a North Korean animation company, so you got to look out for that. Current shows that have employed SEK animation that you might have heard about. Invincible uses SEK. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Let's see. Futurama, The Simpsons. Oh, The Legend of Titanic. Oh, who is he? I don't know if I've seen him. I've been watching the guy. Do you have a link to his channel? I'd review that. I'd watch that. There's and it was one episode of Avatar. I'd be curious to see that. Yeah. So Terrible. What have you been doing lately? You didn't hear me when I was talking about... How terrible. When I was talking about North Korean animation? Okay, we'll go over it again. Prepping for the holidays. Thank you, Lynn. I am curious to... Curious to see that. Charles, North Korea. Yes. One thing I've always been... Did you guys ever see Dropout Now? I'll always think of it as College Humor, and not Dropout. But did you ever see College Humor's show, The Adventures of Kim Jong-un, that they did? Kim Jong-un. Yeah. You've never seen that? The Adventures of Kim Jong-un. Okay, Enzo. You guys. Let's see. I'll play a little bit here.
Your show is the most popular show. Everybody loves it. There is only one thing wrong. Oh, glorious stallion of liberty. The internet continues to spread lies about you, Supreme Leader. They are jealous of your power and good looks and dancing abilities.
People are still trying to escape North Korea.
Anyways, I won't play it all. Just... Yeah, that's The Adventures of Kim Jong-un. How? Yeah, man, that was... Yeah. I will send you the link. Kim Jong-un. Okay. I didn't like the eyes. I wanted to change the eyes a bit. Yes, you should watch it. It's on. The entire series is like half an hour, so. How dare you? Oh no, no, yeah. I'm talking to Terrible. Terrible night. Okay, okay, Lynn. It was really It was really lovely chatting with you. It always is. Terrible. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep drawing. Yeah, you guys. If you, I'm curious. Yeah, you should look into like stuff. Yeah. Kim Jong Un. That song always gets stuck in my adventures of Kim Jong Un. Thank you, Benz. How's it going? How's it going on this fine and wonderful day for you? It is going good. My computer is not freaking out at me so much right now, which is a good sign. So I'm just gonna keep riding this good fortune until it does. What about you? What are you up to right now? What is that? I don't know. I've never heard of that before. Is a popular... I think I've seen this. Yeah. How is it? I take it you're mastering it. You're one of the best. I am dangerously uninformed about things at times. Okay. So you're like sincere. Awesome. How close have you gotten? I beat Cuphead once, and that's as far as I've ever gotten with like playing card games. Oh, that's cool. What's like the hardest game you've ever played that you've like mastered, you think? I say beat Cuphead. I almost beat Cuphead. A lot of cursing with that, a lot of fighting, a lot of cussing. Ooh. I was a big Civi. I really like Civilization. I played it a lot. I think I have a couple thousand hours dedicated to Civilization. I don't have that many. Ew, no, I don't want to touch it because no, my computer is in a delicate place right now, and if I touch it or move it, it messes it up. I like those types of games, the Civilization, Crusader King type games where you can just play. I haven't. Do you play Crusader King? Have you played Crusader Kings 3 yet? It's a small world after all. It's a small world after. Oh well, if you like Civilization, you'll probably like that game. I have at least 2 months of pure dedicated gameplay with that. They just released a big expansion for it, but I don't know. I'm gonna wait a little bit before getting it. Apparently, people really like the new expansion, so I really want to play it, but yeah. So, Benz, would you say you're kind of like an elite level gamer? Jobs. Who needs jobs, right? Are we still doing this like money for food thing? I thought we were past that. Oh yeah. Yeah, Crusader Kings is definitely getting up there in expansion packs. I am starting to get a little irritated by that. Yeah. Screw food. Games. That's where you need it. Yeah, Paradox is definitely getting a little bit on the level of, like, say, EA. For me, I'm starting to get a little annoyed by the amount of expansion packs that they release. Yeah. Yeah. $1,000 each. No, but Paralives is gonna be it. That's gonna be the game we all play. I do hope we eventually get a life sim that isn't from an evil corporation. Because so far we've gotten 2. Yo, Tato! Paralives. It's the new indie game that's coming out that is directly competing with The Sims. How's it going, Tato? Good to see you. Oh, nice! What play? Okay, a 5-ounce filet ribeye steak. No. New York strip. Get a New York strip. Treat yourself, and a tumbler of. Yeah, Tato is a good little actor. What did you play? Yeah, what's your role this time, and what was your role? Weren't you who did you play? What was your last play that you told me about? Oh my God, Tato! Oh, holy heck! Awesome! Fist bump! Congratulations! Yeah, because weren't you like supporting last? Great! That is, oh my God, that's so awesome. Yeah, no, that is legit. That is legit great. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Yeah. Because I remember last year, Tato, you were like you got like a couple of minor parts. So going from cast to lead, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, yes, that's what I was trying to remember. The queen of the one-liners. Well, congratulations. I'm just drawing a random character. I don't know. She could be from something. I should draw my own characters, but I almost never do on screen. I don't know why I don't. Because I do have stuff I want to eventually promote on here, but yeah. I got stories I eventually want to release. Just a random picture I found. Theoretically, this is mostly like a writing channel, but I haven't done a lot of writing lately. On screen. I mean, I have done... no, yes. I'm a little bummed about something to do with my writing. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't really know like what the... I don't like... we dual stream over here and on Twitch, and I actually don't really know what like the YouTube live streaming, like what the deal with it is, like what the shorts deal with it is. Like I never really... Is it as weird as the one on TikTok? Because the stuff on TikTok was always really strange. Yeah. That's gross. Yeah. Yes, but if you want to... No. Is it people crying like, I need them? Okay, tell me what it is. Oh, thank you. Didn't we like think we were just gonna like steal somebody else's? Like, weren't we gonna steal Logan Paul's group name or something? That was my last idea, is that we should just try and steal a bigger YouTuber's name and just kind of like pigeon be a parasite. Well, we were thinking Logan Paul or I don't know. Then we came up with something like Monster. I don't know. I forget. I make these grand the Utopianists. Yeah. Oh, get it? I'm doing... I am aware that that's a meme. I have no idea what it is. You know what? Don't spam 67. Spam... It's just... Hey! Ace, good to see you. I have no idea what it is. It's just... And maybe that's the point. Maybe it's just supposed to be kind of annoying. Resident young people. Yeah, resident young people in the chat, tell me, can you in some way explain what the 67-bit is? Because I think it's like, from my understanding, it was like a video of a kid was just saying it. And then... Oh my god. And did people freak out? Did people... Yeah, I figured that's what it is. A lot of kids' stuff is that in secret. Maybe later we'll look at it. Which, I don't know. I guess going like, well, what is this? What is this? Is falling into the trap, but it is very annoying. We should invent a new meme. Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead and link that, Ace. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, it's turning out not terrible. You know, one of my problems is like when I do art sometimes on here, I just can never sit down and decide what I want to draw. But yeah, it is. Yeah, she's turning out okay. I think, at least. Occasionally, I don't do it as much as I would want to. My computer has been acting up more than it should. My computer has been acting up. That's why it's been a little bit less. I don't know. Would you guys want me to do a game? I'd be up for trying to play some games on here. I have some games I've been wanting to play on here. Of course I do. Of course I do. Have you noticed I haven't got to it yet? Did you see the video I made? Did you see my video where I was joking about that? Yeah. Yeah, there was from some mysterious channel made a short about that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What games would you like to see me play? Because I have some. Oh, thank you, Ben. I realize now your name is Ben is Jamming. I was calling. Yeah. Anyways. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Because I have games. Like, I have a ton of games. I've thought about streaming. Yeah. What game is everybody playing now? I don't know. Yeah. I should draw an alien cat. Maybe I'm just gonna keep drawing this for a while, but maybe I'll get to that if we move on. Maybe that'll go in the suggestion pile. We played some Jackbox a few nights ago, which was really fun. Have you guys ever played Jackbox? Anyways, Dispatch. Would people? I've been playing Dispatch. I really like that game. Oh, Jackbox is like a party game. anybody with like the internet can play it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I don't like playing those adventure games. I want to finish it by myself first, so I can just enjoy the story, and then I'll stream it, which is not the best way to do the streaming thing, but I just want to enjoy the story on my own first. But yeah, I know. You don't think I'd get in trouble for showing? Yeah. Yeah. I do like that game. I think that's I think that's a really fun idea. I was a big Telltale fan. Back in the old days when Telltale used to be a thing. Do you guys know what Telltale is? Relevant discussion. The people who made Dispatch used to work for Telltale. Is why. Yeah, they made some really great. Yeah, it's on Shorts. Yeah. This is on Shorts. Yeah. Why do you think I'm streaming like this? Why do you think I'm streaming like this, Tato? It's to get onto the Shorts feed, which is always gives yeah. Yeah, but the numbers are. I used to. Well, there's another reason why I'm streaming like this, and it's because the old way I used to dual stream, because we're on here on Twitch at the same time. I used to stream normally, but the extension that I used for that no longer works with OBS. But this extension that I can stream the short and horizontally over on Twitch works fine. So we're just going to use this for a while because I don't feel like wrangling with OBS anymore at the moment. But also, man, you get so many guys. If you're ever streaming, you get so many more views with shorts. It's ridiculous. I get double the amount of views. Doing shorts. And I know what you're saying, well, this isn't a lot, but yeah, it's a lot more. Anyways, that's the boring businesses of it. Yeah, well, I don't know. Ace, you found me from Shorts. Tato is a longtime chatter. I've known Tato. Yes, I do. Yes. Yeah. Yes, I do. I am over on Twitch at the same time. You can see this in much more full, and I realize it just did the thing again that has been driving me crazy. Yep. Okay, there it is. This is a thing that's been happening on with my OBS for a while. It randomly turns off all of the things. But yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitch, you can see the full. You can see full. Okay, I have to fix my camera again. 1 second. But are you talking about like me doing an Instagram live? Was that what you were talking about? I don't know. I've done one of those once. It was. If you ever stream art, my advice is to turn off your autofocus. Yeah, I've had not great experiences with the Instagram people. I have an Instagram account. It is pretty much I post the shorts I make on Instagram, on YouTube, on Instagram as well. So I don't know. here's the thing. There's a part of me that would probably delete my Instagram account if I didn't inexplicably one of my reels inexplicably got like 3 million views on Instagram once. And it's like it's the most I've ever gotten of anything. It's the most I've ever gotten of anything like social media wise ever. It was just one day inexplicably a video of mine got 3 million like views, and it was shocking that it happened. So I've never been able to give it up because of that. Because it's like I don't want to give up like this one time I legitimately went viral, somewhat viral. Yeah, it just I don't know how it happened. It just happened one day. Let me see if I can find it. It was such a dumb video too. It was just like some little joke video I made that took me like 5 seconds, and then let me see if I can find it. It's so funny. I have like 1,000, 100, and then like inexplicably 3 million. Come on, where is it? Ah, here it is. This guy right here. See that? What new anime? Here, see? If you can see this guy, this fellow right here. 3 million. Oh, why don't I just share it? I could just share it. See? 3 million, 3.1 million. This is the video. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Sure. 1 second, I'll let it loop.
The English.
Why is Notre Dame like the college? Why are they the Fighting Irish?
Because France and Ireland are united by the most unshakable bond two nations can share. Hatred of the English.
Why is Notre Dame like the college? Why are they the Fighting Irish?
Because France and Ireland are united by the most unshakable bond two nations can share. Hatred of the English.
So, sort of. It was just me doing a little bit. I did not think it was going to be that big of a deal, but it turned out. I'll send you the link. It's just me. I don't know. I thought it was just like some dumb joke I made once. Everybody's united by it. I mean, okay. So what happened is, it's English, it's French people agreeing with me, it's Irish people agreeing with me, it's Notre Dame people trying to correct me, and then it's people arguing about the history of English colonialism in my comments. And at a certain point, I stopped paying attention to the comments because it's just like there were so many. But yeah, everybody's united by that. But yeah, and then and then the next video is like, 1,000, 2,000, 700. Yeah, I went right back to like normal. It was just like a blip of like, but it was a very surreal day of being it was a couple of weeks that went on of being like going viral. I think that's properly viral. I think that's a properly viral video I had. And What are you talking about? The English. Okay, so. Okay, Ace, tell me about this movie. This thing you're obsessed with. I want to know about it. And Tato, the show that you're part of, do you have to do like a lot of singing? And... Yeah, I'm half Canadian. I'm working on getting my Canadian citizenship worked out. Yeah, well, being as like Canadians have have their own history connected to the British, and yeah, I talk about that with people. Oh, it's a play, so you don't have to do any singing. So, what's this? Tell me a little bit about this character that you're playing. Yeah, well, yeah, it's a... Yeah, and the fussiness of Canadians can be somewhat attributed... the fussiness of Canadians can be somewhat attributed to the very Britishness of the culture. I've been to Canada a lot of times in my life, so I know... I've been going to Canada pretty much every year for 30 years, give or take. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm really proud of you, Tato. See, hey Ace, good to see you. Some of the games I have, I've one of the games I've been wanting to play is I have a famously quite bad game. Welcome back. That I've been wanting to play on stream for a bit of time, called video game. People who know a lot about video game history have probably heard of it. But do you know what? Have you ever heard of Daikatana, Ben? Do you guys know what Daikatana is? I have this. I bought the Steam edition years ago, and I've been wanting to play it on here for a while. Oh, you have not heard about this? Okay, so let me tell you this. Okay, well, this comes from. This is a thing of the 90s/2000s, and let me tell you the history of let me tell you a bit of the history of two men who in some ways invented the first-person shooters, and their names are John Cormack and John Romero. Now, I'm no expert on video game history, so forgive me if I get some stuff wrong, but Cormack and Romero were the co-founders and co-creators of a little video game you may have heard of called
He chose the path
Doom. They created Doom. The original and several of the sequels. They also created Quake and pretty much invented the first-person shooter. Now, Cormac and Romero are a famously somewhat mismatched duo. Cormac is sort of the way people talk about Cormac, they talk about him like he's sort of an evil genius, and they say he's maybe one of the greatest like programmers to ever live, but he creates terribly dull, very boring games. But he's like a world-class like engineer of video games, whereas Romero is kind of a flighty like eccentric person who imbues stuff with like a lot of strange personality. And together they were great, but apart, also hi. They were, but eventually they broke up and went their own way. And Romero started his own company where he created he created a little video game called Daikatana. Now, Daikatana was a famously Katana. It is refusing. Was a famously like labored production. It took years. It took years to make, much longer than they said it. Much longer than they thought it was going to make. And it was, and by the time it came out, it was yeah, that's the one I was looking for. By the time it came out, it had okay. So there's an ad that is particularly infamous for Daikatana. If Google, let's see. It is inappropriate for. I would argue it's somewhat inappropriate for younger people, so I don't want to show it because it might get me in trouble on here. But it was famously incendiary, and people to this day still make fun of it. Anyways, so it was hyped, it was big, it was hyped up, it was like, oh, from this amazing creator who made Doom. And if you're seeing a connection, like say with something like Cyberpunk 2077 or something, like it was a massively hyped game from a very famous creator. Or Mind's Eye, there's a good one. Actually, no, that's a perfect comparison. Mind's Eye is a perfect comparison because it's a very similar situation. A big noted creator strikes it out on his own and totally, and then flopped terribly. Yep. I cannot emphasize though. Google Daikatana John Romero ad. Ben, look it up. You'll see why people had a real negative reaction to this one particular ad. Look it up. You will, and believe me, it is a real ad that existed. No, it's just Daikatana. Anyways, I have the game. Anyways, I have it. It was released on Steam inexplicably a few years ago. Now, it should be noted that John Romero, this was years ago, John Romero has made peace with Daikatana, and he jokes about it these days, and he has said the experience very much humbled him. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna show it to you guys. I'm excited, Ben, when you find it, because you will be shocked that this was a real ad that they did. That this would have been considered like desirable for the public, and wouldn't immediately make people annoyed with it. Did you find the ad? It goes, John Romero is about to make you. It's so. Did you? But no. You have to even look worse. The tagline is even worse. It is so stupid. Oh, that's not even the one. Okay, let me show. Okay, fuck it. I'll just show it to you. This is the ad. This is the ad. This is one of the most infamous ads in all of gaming. Literally, all they knew, it says John Romero is about to make you his bitch. Nobody knew anything about the game, and they released this ad. They released this ad. That's all they did. And then notice, that's the only thing they released for years was this one ad. So John Romero has had to live that for like his whole life. Yeah. Yeah. And it was like this huge flop. Anyways, I want to play it. Yeah, for the Nintendo 64. It's so funny. It's so funny. What are you talking about? I am there. I drew the second eye. Done. Yeah. What are you talking about? Nintendo loves controversy like that. Nah, I won't tell that story. There's a pretty infamous little story about nah, I won't tell it. But somebody made Nintendo very angry with some behavior of theirs, and it really bit them by going off on weird rants about Nintendo, and it really bit them. Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back in 1 sec, okay? Okay, okay. We've got one. One second. Okay. Now I got need number 2. My computer is. Hey everybody, I'm sure you can hear me. One second. This is, remember, I've implied that my computer is doing stuff. This is stuff it's doing. One second. Where? Haha! Ah! And, damn it. Okay, one second. We just have to fix the. OBS makes my life so much more difficult than it needs to be. Zoom. Yes. Okay. Back. Did you guys did you get Sorry about that. Remember I've been complaining about OBS and stuff like that. My computer. What my computer randomly does is it messes with the it messes with my like video settings for like OBS and stuff lately, which has been very frustrating. What was I about to say? Did you guys ever see My Life as a Deer? Or the deer anime thing? That's one of the few new ones I've watched. I liked that one a lot. My Dear Friend. If you're curious, they put the first few episodes up on YouTube for free. They're very weird. Because they're very funny. Because I believe the voice actress for Miku is voices the main character. Voices the main character and one of the main characters in the show. So in the Japanese dub. Yeah. that song gets stuck in my head. The anyways. Which be beautiful. Creators lie all the time. So what's the hip anime these days, friendos? What is the anime, everybody? What is the anime everybody's watching nowadays? Is it God, I was gonna do a bit where I picked like the dumbest anime I could think of, but I can't even really think of one right now. We're all getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh, right? That's what we're all doing. Nah, it's Yu-Gi-Oh these days, right? Everybody likes Yu-Gi-Oh? That can both be a very controversial opinion and a very non-controversial opinion. Naruto is paced very unforgivingly, I will say. I made it... Yeah. But who can win in a fight, Goku or Superman? We have to settle this right now. Does Goku win or does Superman win? Yeah. I haven't gotten to My Hero Academia. I don't know. I might be. There's a little part of me that thinks I'm a tiny bit too old for shonen stuff, really. But one thing I find that is so funny, man. We have to solve this right now. The world is waiting on our answer. Does Goku win or does Superman win? Yeah. I mean... The world is waiting on us, Ace. They need to know. This answer... Aliens are currently surrounding Earth, pointing atomic-ton lasers at us, and if we don't answer perfectly, they will obliterate. I don't know. I do wish there was like an official crossover once. I've always wanted that. I've always wanted them to do that, like do an official crossover, because I think that would be fun. Okay. Yes, that's correct. I do think, like, no insult to, like, My Hero Academia, but it is funny that just Deku is the one that wins, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, broader question. Who's your favorite superhero? I mean, the thing that always gets Superman is he's vulnerable to magic. So, yeah. Both justified answers. Both very justified answers. I like Spider-Man. Yeah, you can pick any type of superhero. I don't care. I like Spider-Man a lot. Although lately I've begun to very much like Doctor Strange as a character. I'm just kind of fascinated by the vibes of the like how weird his stories are and the vibes of him. He is cool, right? He deserves it. Yeah. Yeah. But I like Spider-Man. Spider-Man is always a good character because he's supposed to always just be kind of like a normal dude in a lot of ways, which is always fun. Yes. Do I know Phenomenon? Is he from Dispatch? I haven't gotten super far in Dispatch, so if he is, no spoilers. I've been wanting to write my own superhero stuff for a long time, but I never get around to it. Yes. Oh, I know who you're talking about, yeah. I've only played the first episode. I've been busy. I'm sorry. I've been busy. I played the first episode and I haven't got around to playing the rest of the episodes. But I remember him. Yes. Yeah. Good. My problem is, Ben. Here's my problem. It takes me forever to get around to watching something. Because, I mean, like, lately I've been obsessed with this TV show called The Chair Company, which is a show nobody watches, but I keep wanting to talk about it with people. Nobody has seen it. It's so good. Anyway, whatever. But it's a grown up. It's a show. It's a MA, TV MA. This is the same phenomenon. One of the things I was always such a braggart about is that I got into Breaking Bad before other people did. Like I remember I was into it like at the start of the series. I was really into it, and nobody had heard about it. And I feel like The Chair Company is going to be this. Speaking of Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan, man, has a new show. I haven't watched that one yet. Pluribus. I need to sit down and watch Pluribus. I should do it today, really. Yes, I know. That's part of the reason I was excited. Yes, I know. And he does a really good job. Yes. He was also Todd in BoJack Horseman. I was listening to him, and I'm like, he actually has like a really good voice, like Aaron Paul does. Like he has a legit, like I think like he has a really good voice for like voice acting and stuff. Like he has a very very good voice for it. He was also in Westworld. Unfortunately, nobody. Gone, but not forgotten. Yes. Yeah, he was great. Oh, we're just talking about Aaron Paul, from who plays the main character in Dispatch and the other roles he's played. And he was in Westworld too. Unfortunately, that I'm still so mad about the cancellation of Westworld. I can't believe that. I can't believe they canceled that. I'm furious that it's been canceled. I hate Zaslav. Yeah, exactly. That's always one of those like great little stories. It's like. It's always one of those like great little stories. It's like, yeah. I was at Comic-Con one year when they were there, and somebody asked him about that, and he says it's like he just doesn't like thinking about that because that fills him with so much anxiety. That fact that he was going to get killed off, he's like, it's just, it's just like such a weird thing to think about. Unfortunately, he had his chance to be a little bit of a movie star. He's like the one guy who got like a kind of happy ending from that story, because everybody else, like, it went terribly for them, and their lives self-destructed. But at least he gets kind of a happy ending. Not to give away too much about Breaking Bad. Turns out the show about the drug dealer, the guy who becomes. Oh, okay. Yeah, doesn't have a real happy ending for a lot of people. Yeah. But yeah, so if you don't know, Vince Gilligan has a new show on Apple TV called Pluribus. That. Yes. That's out right now. I haven't seen it yet. I'm very frustrated that I haven't seen it yet. And it's a different. It's different. It's a sci-fi show. So. Because he started out as like a if you don't know, they're starting to get good again. There's some good ones out. We're getting a good crop of new TV shows. If you haven't, Severance is amazing. Severance is like is probably is best new show out in a while. Okay, I'm giving you a recommendation. Here's a few shows. Here's the shows everybody's talking about right now. It's Severance. It's Murderbot. The Chair Company. I think Pluribus. Pluribus, I think, is getting to be a big deal. And then, we have, I think there's going to be there's a new spin-off of Game of Thrones coming called The Night for All Kingdoms, which are based on some George R. R. Martin novellas that are really quite good and I like. There's some undiluted crap that's been coming out too, but yeah, there's some good stuff coming out again. If you watch one, Ben, watch Severance. That's the show. That's the big show now. That's if you watch one, watch Severance. That one is really cool. Severance is about, if you don't know, Severance takes place in the near future, and it's about a company has devised a new procedure called severance, where what it does is you go through a bit of brain surgery, and if you go down to a certain floor that has officially been declared a severed floor, you instantly forget about every single thing that happened in your life that isn't on the severed floor. And the second you leave the severed floor, you forget about everything that has ever happened in the severed floor. Yeah. Oh yeah, Fallout is great. Yes. Yes, watch Severance. Severance is the one Severance is the one that's really gonna appeal, I think. It's Adam Scott. It's John Latura. It's a really good show. Oh, what, Ben? What are you talking about? I don't know at all the dedicated amount of hours. Which is your game, Ben? Which is your game? Are you a New Vegas or are you a Fallout 4? Yeah. I'm more of a New Vegas, but I do like 4. Remember when like Bethesda RPGs were like something you got excited for? Or maybe I'm just being cynical, but something happened to Bethesda, and now it's like I'm bummed out by it. Something happened. I don't know what happened. I should probably finish up. Probably download Outer Worlds 2 at a point. Did you play the Outer Worlds? Have you heard of the Outer Worlds? Yeah. Is it? Well, that's good to know. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think it's entirely fair to be like, well, it's good now. It's like, well, you released it wasn't good. Oh yeah, so the Outer Worlds is the creators of New Vegas have their own little franchise going on now. It's very much it's pretty much Fallout New Vegas, but in space. But yeah, it's Fallout New Vegas, but space New Vegas. Oh yeah, I mean, I totally believe that. Like, a game I like, No Man's Sky, is like that, where it's like but it's not like I think it's fairly fair for people to say the game is released, I'm gonna play it, and they play it and they're like, yeah, not good. Yeah, pretty much. It is definitely much better than. Oh, Starfield makes me mad. Because I didn't want to hate it, Ben. I should point out, I did not want to hate Starfield. I was like, okay. I went in with, like, the highest of hopes. Because I was like, you know what? 76 was kind of a misfire. You know, it's better now, but 76 was a misfire. But, you know, Starfield, you know, Starfield, you know, should be right in their field. It's like, the thing is, like, with Bethesda games, this is a personal opinion, but the combat was never that great in Bethesda games. It wasn't terrible, but it was just very functional, but it was perfectly okay. But for some reason, I feel like somebody's in their ear telling them, you should focus more on the combat and cut out all the RPG stuff so that people can do more of the combat. And I don't understand that. Because why is suddenly everything now behind loading screens? Why is being on a starship so perfunctory? Why do we just fast travel everywhere? Instead of flying a stupid spaceship? Yeah. For some reason, somebody's in their ear telling them they need to focus more on the combat. The combat was always just kind of like okay, so, like, I don't think Bethesda has, like, horrible combat, if I could. You know, they don't have, like, nightmarish, like, but their combat is purely functional. It's just there to, like, bridge the RPG stuff. But for some reason, they keep focusing more and more on the combat, and it feels like Starfield. I know Starfield technically didn't have a design document. At least that's what they said. But it feels like Starfield's whole thing was, yeah, we need to cut out all the, like, RPG stuff to do more combat. Yeah. Exactly. I'm not sure who those are, but yeah. And, like, the instinct is to blame Microsoft for all of this. Well, they got bought out by Microsoft, but they did this on their own. They were doing this by themselves. Yes. I know the games, I just don't remember the name. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, what are we doing exactly? What is this? Now, could Bethesda's combat stand to be improved? Sure, that would be nice. Yeah, sure, why not improve their combat? But I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. And people, like, defend that to say, like, the thing is, like, forgive me for being this, but when I play a spaceship game, yeah. Who's that one writer that everybody hates? There's one writer specifically at Bethesda that nobody can stand. Yeah. I mean, I think that, but I also think you kind of. Well, here's kind of my thought, Ben. Yeah, who cares? It's probably best not to get too angry. He's the one who came up with the dumbest twist. He's the one who came up. By the way, if I could briefly complain about Fallout 3 for a second, I like Fallout 3. That ending, that unrevised ending, is still so stupid. So stupid. So aggressively stupid. Especially if you have, like, a mutant with you or a robot. Like, or a ghoul. Yeah, well, I feel like people can't, like, RPG writers should internalize that the fun of the RPG is exploration and finding weird stories in the world, not so much the linear story. It's irritating. Yeah, because it's like, he's like, you were supposed to sacrifice yourself. Why are you supposed to sacrifice yourself? It doesn't make sense. Especially if you have, like, a guy there who can just, like, who can survive nuclear radiation. If you look back, I made a video once complaining about it, and I get into this long, and there was this guy in the comments section who was so hyper defensive of how good that ending was. And I got into this long argument with him over it. It was so shocking. I thought everybody kind of hated that ending. Anyways. Yeah, exactly. But it's like, if you have the mutant with you, the mutant with you, which is what I did, it doesn't make sense because he can survive radiation. Why not just, like, the guy who can live through radiation? Why doesn't he go? Why is the whole story is in some way, Fox. The whole story is in some way about your character making a sacrifice. Like, there's so many bits and bobs where it's like, it's so noble to sacrifice yourself. But the thing about it is, the sacrifice makes no sense. Yeah, but the problem is, it doesn't make any sense to sacrifice yourself. And that's, like, the thing, like, okay, like, I've never written an RPG, but I do have some theories about what makes good RPG writing. And I think one of the most important things in, like, good RPG writing, at least from a layman's perspective, is choices you make in the game change the way the story plays out. And one of the most key things is choices you make in the game should affect the ending of the game. And they have it all set up perfectly good. Depending on who you bring, which companion you bring in the final mission, it's the difference between living or dying, you know? So if you bring Fox the mutant, exactly. So they have it all perfectly set up. If you bring, like, Fox the mutant, the super mutant, you don't die because you brought him along. If you bring the ghoul, I forgot, it's Raoul, right? Raoul's the ghoul's name. You don't die. The robot, you don't die. But if you bring, like, a squishy human, one of you has to die then. They have a very decent setup for... Okay, yeah, I forgot who the ghoul. For doing good RPG storytelling, and they don't do it because they get obsessed with this. You have to self-sacrifice. Yeah. Yes. Oh my god. Oh. Sorry, I forget how pretentious it can be. Get it, Ben? Chiron. His name is Chiron. Like the ferryman at the river Styx in Greek mythology, it's a reference to death. Exactly! Exactly! Yeah. You can't, like, the thing is, in an RPG you can't punish the player for doing something different. You know what I mean? You can't, because the whole point of an RPG is your choices affect the story. Yeah. I never got, like, Fox. Frankly, I'm just gonna say it. It's kind of character assassination for Fox, in a way. Like, I really hate that, because Fox up to that point is one of the best maybe one of the best characters in the game. Yeah. And that bums me out, because it's like, yeah, exactly. And it's like your character is supposed to be like 16, or like is supposed to be at most like 18. Like, why is it considered good that a kid dies? I just don't get it. Yeah. Oh, I have such trouble playing evil characters in RPGs. 19, yeah. I think that's one of the disconnect. Like, if your character was like 40 or something, maybe that would play better, but it's like your character's only 19. And plus it's stupid too, because yeah. Have you ever done the stupid run though in Fallout? Have you ever done being stupid in Fallout? That one's pretty funny. There's if you don't know, there's a stupid run in Fallout where if you set your intelligence to like 0, the entire game changes. I've never done it, but I've seen clips from it, and it's always very funny. Yeah, that one. Yeah, it looks. I've never. My ego never lets me do the stupid run. No. What you have to do is set your intelligence to 0, or like 1. And there's a whole ton of new options for dialogue. There's the characters will treat you as like an incredibly thick individual, and you won't be able, who's like really stupid. It's very funny. I do too. My ego won't let me do it totally. Usually I tend to be like play high charismatic characters, because I just usually I tend to play like characters with a lot of charisma, which sucks because in a way it makes the game too easy. I started out with like, because if you do high charisma, it makes yeah. My favorite thing, like, I don't know, this might be only me, but in Fallout 4, I kind of broke up, in Fallout New Vegas, in my head, I always broke it up into, like, episodes and seasons. Because, like, mentally, I always, like, it's funny with, like, Fallout, with Fallout New Vegas, because you can kind of break it up into Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. It kind of feels, part of the reason I like it is because it kind of feels like a TV show, like you're playing a full TV show. Because if you think about it, the first real season, like if you break it up mentally, like the first season is your character getting from Good Springs to finally making it into New Vegas and meeting Mr. House. The next season is you trying to like acquaint yourself with everybody in New Vegas. Anyways, it's hard to explain, but it always felt like a yeah, exactly. When you really think about it, it really like breaks into seasons very easily. Then like the DLC can be argued as its own seasons and stuff. Choosing a faction or whether you go along, whether you trust Matthew Perry. Yeah, Fallout has always been good at it. Okay, I'm going to throw this out, maybe controversial opinion. I think RPGs are uniquely good for DLCs. An RPG to me always makes sense for doing DLCs with because you can always just add stuff into an RPG. My favorite one is the science one, with all is the mad science one. What's it? Yeah. What? It's funny because I replayed Fallout 3 a few years ago, just because I hadn't played it in forever and I was kind of curious. And that game came out when I was like 13, 14. Yeah. And it's funny, it didn't occur to me how much they were setting up Fallout 4 in Fallout 3, because there's a whole mission that directly ties into Fallout 4. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'm happy with it. I'm getting a little tired, my man. Honestly. Might be calling it pretty soon. But it was really good meeting you. I'm trying to get back in the habit of streaming more, so okay, lovely.